What if longevity wasn't hiding in a miracle pill or a perfect gene, but in the simple choices on your plate and the way you time your meals? I'm talking about physicians in Japan who remain active into their 90s and beyond, still teaching, still consulting, still walking to their clinics, powered by steady habits they've practiced for decades. Here's the twist. Their edge isn't a trendy superfood or a strict diet plan. It's how warm their meals are, the pace at which they eat, the order they take their bites, when they stop, when they start again, and a morning ritual so ordinary you've probably overlooked it your whole life. Stay with me. I'll show you how these small shifts help digestion hum, keep blood sugar steady, and support clearer thinking. Along the way, I'll give you practical examples you can try tomorrow. Think of this as a gentle reset, made for a 50-plus body that's wise, resilient, and capable of remarkable change at any age. Ready to feel lighter after meals, sleep more deeply, and wake with more morning spark? Let's begin with the most surprising detail of all, the temperature of your food. If you've ever poured ice water into a simmering pot, you've seen the boil stall. Your stomach works similarly. Very cold foods and drinks can nudge digestion to slow down, while warm or room temperature choices help enzymes operate closer to their ideal range. That's one reason traditional Japanese meals lean warm: miso soup before the main dish, tea instead of iced drinks, and cooked vegetables more often than chilled salads. It's not about banning cold foods forever. It's about reducing friction at mealtime so your gut doesn't have to struggle. Many people notice less bloating, fewer cramps, and a gentler energy curve when they switch their default drink to warm water or tea. If you love something cold, enjoy it away from meals or wait a little after eating. The aim is comfort inside your body, not rules that make you miserable. Start by asking, how can I make this plate warmer, calmer, easier to digest? What would shift if your soup arrived first and your ice came later? Let's make this practical. Tomorrow morning, try a mug of comfortably warm water when you wake. Not hot enough to burn, just cozy. At breakfast, choose warm oatmeal over a fridge-cold smoothie, or if you adore smoothies, let it sit a bit so it isn't icy. At lunch, swap the ice water for green tea or simply water without cubes. If you're having a salad, add a warm element, a cup of broth, a side of steamed vegetables, or a piece of grilled fish to anchor the meal. Warmth isn't only temperature, it's gentleness. Think slow-cooked beans, baked sweet potatoes, sautéed greens, congee, broths, poached fruit. In summer, you don't need to avoid fresh produce, just balance it. Enjoy your melon mid-morning, then have a warm entree at lunch. At dinner, a light soup starter can set your digestion up for smoother sleep. None of this requires obsession. It's about designing your meals to help your body along, instead of challenging it at every bite. You're creating the conditions for comfort, and comfort is health's quiet partner. Now, the rhythm that ties your whole day together, your eating window. Many long-lived communities naturally cluster their meals within roughly 10 to 12 hours, leaving the rest of the day and all night for the body's cleanup crew to get to work. That pause isn't starvation. It's space for your system to reset, for insulin to settle, for your cells to recycle worn-out parts and build stronger ones. If you're used to nibbling late at night, shifting your last bite a little earlier can make mornings feel different, lighter, clearer, easier. Here's a simple pattern. Breakfast sometime after you've been up a bit, lunch in the middle of your day, and dinner on the earlier side, then water or tea until morning. You don't need to force a tiny window. Pick a window you can live with most days. Stable patterns beat dramatic experiments. Think of it as housekeeping for your metabolism. Your gut gets a rest. Your sleep has fewer digestive fireworks. And your mornings? They get more of your energy back. How do you begin without overwhelming yourself? Slide the last meal 15 to 30 minutes earlier for a week, then nudge again the next week. If your current window stretches from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., aim for 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., then 7 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., and so on until you're in the 10-12 hour zone. 2 helpful tweaks. Prioritize protein and fiber at dinner, and keep the meal satisfying but not heavy. A palm-sized portion of fish or tofu, a fist of whole grains or starchy vegetables, and a generous spread of greens or other vegetables make a calm, complete plate. If you wake ravenous at night, try adding a little more protein and a spoon of healthy fat at dinner. Olive oil on greens, avocado slices, a sprinkle of nuts. Avoid turning the window into a punishment. If life throws you a late dinner, enjoy it mindfully and return to your rhythm the next day. Consistency, not perfection, is what nudges your biology in the right direction. What fills that window matters too, and one of the simplest, most delightful guidelines is to paint your plate. Traditional Japanese meals often include multiple small sides, each with its own shade and texture. This variety isn't for aesthetics alone. Different colors signal different families of helpful plant compounds. Reds from tomatoes or strawberries, oranges and yellows from carrots or squash, greens from leafy vegetables or seaweed, whites and browns from onions, garlic, mushrooms, and beans, and blues and purples from eggplant or berries. Together they form a safety net of nutrients that support the heart, brain, immune system, and eyes. You don't need a checklist or a spreadsheet. Just ask, which colors are missing today? If your lunch is mostly beige, add a handful of cherry tomatoes and a tangerine. If dinner is green and brown, toss in roasted carrots or a spoon of pickled purple cabbage. Over time, you'll build a colorful habit without trying. Here's a day that lives this out. Breakfast: warm oatmeal with cinnamon, chopped apple, and a sprinkle of walnuts, plus green tea. The brown, red, and green tones cover a lot of ground. Lunch: a bowl with brown rice, sautéed spinach, grilled salmon or tempeh, and a side of miso soup, greens, whites, and warm umami. Add a few slices of bright orange kabocha or carrots for that golden note. Snack: blueberries or a handful of purple grapes. Dinner: a simple broth bowl with mushrooms, tofu or chicken, thinly sliced cabbage, and scallions, with a side of quick pickled cucumbers. If fruit is your joy, shift it to mid-morning or mid-afternoon, when it won't compete with digestion. Frozen produce is absolutely fine when fresh isn't available. The aim is effortless variety over time. The more colors you invite onto the plate, the less you need to obsess over any single nutrient. Your eyes guide you. Your body does the rest. Now for a mindset that quietly rewires appetite and energy. Stop at pleasantly not full. In Okinawa, there's a phrase for it: eating until about 8/10 satisfied. It's the opposite of the holiday stuffed feeling. Think light, comfortable, ready to move. Your stomach and brain don't signal fullness at the same moment. There's a delay. So the skill is in pacing and in listening. Put your fork or chopsticks down between bites. Chew so the flavor actually arrives. Ask yourself halfway, if this is enough, how will I feel 20 minutes from now? You'll notice the answer in your shoulders, your breath, the way your belly sits against your waistband. It's tricky at first because most of us learn to stop when the plate is empty, not when the body says, "That's good." But once you recognize the feeling, it gets easier to leave 2 polite bites behind and feel proud of it. That's a new kind of satisfaction. Practical helps make it stick. Start meals with vegetables and soup to gently take the edge off hunger. Serve on modest plates and bowls so portions look generous without overwhelming you. Pre-portion grains and starchy sides rather than eating from the pot. Create a ritual pause. When you think you're at almost enough, take a sip of warm tea, set a timer for 5 minutes, and check back in. If you still want more after that, honor it. No guilt, just awareness. Many people find their energy steadies when they avoid large portions at night. You can still savor your favorites. Just treat richness as a garnish rather than the base. This is less about restriction and more about respect. Respect for a body that serves you all day and sleeps better when it isn't processing a feast at 10 p.m. Over weeks, you'll notice something subtle. You're satisfied sooner, and you carry that lightness into everything else you do. If this is resonating, take a second to subscribe to Senior Vitality Pro and tell me your age or where you're watching from in the comments. I read them all and shape future topics around what you share. It helps this message reach more people who need practical, encouraging guidance they can use today. Let's talk about the quiet power of fermentation. In traditional Japanese fare, there's usually a fermented element at nearly every meal. Miso, soy sauce brewed the old way, natto, pickles, vinegar, even certain fish preparations. These foods carry living cultures or the beneficial byproducts of those cultures. Your gut microbiome, the bustling community inside you, thrives on that diversity. When you feed it well, you'll often feel it in more regular digestion, calmer skin, a brighter mood, and steadier hunger cues. No single jar is a cure-all, and not every fermented food agrees with every person, but the pattern of small, frequent exposure matters. Think of it like tending a garden. A tablespoon here, a small side there, and the ecosystem inside you gets richer and more resilient. Pair that with fiber from vegetables, beans, and whole grains, and you've just given your gut guests their favorite meal. If fermented foods are new to you, go slowly. Start with a teaspoon of miso dissolved in warm water as a savory tea, or a couple of forkfuls of live culture sauerkraut alongside your lunch. Try plain yogurt or kefir if dairy suits you, or a small serving of natto if you're adventurous and enjoy sticky textures and strong flavors. Pickles are a friendly entry point. Look for versions labeled naturally fermented or raw, stored in the refrigerator case, and showing live cultures on the label. If you prefer to make your own, begin with simple vegetables, salt, water, and thyme. As with any new food category, notice how your body responds. Mild extra gas at first can be normal as your microbiome shifts. Sharp pain or significant discomfort is a sign to pause and adjust. Quality counts, but perfection is unnecessary. A little, most days, is the goal. Here's a technique that sounds almost too simple. Eat your vegetables first, then your protein, then your carbohydrates. Same foods, new order. Starting with vegetables bathes your small intestine in fiber, which naturally slows the absorption of sugars. Following with protein helps you feel full and keeps your blood sugar curve steadier. By the time you reach the rice, bread, or noodles, your body is better prepared to handle them. Many people report fewer mid-afternoon slumps and less desire to graze later when they follow this sequence. You don't need to separate foods like a rigid school lunch tray. Just finish your salad or cooked vegetables before you dig into the fish or tofu, and save the starch for last. Think of it as building scaffolding for your metabolism. Firm, supportive, invisible once you get used to it. The goal isn't restriction, it's rhythm. How might this look at home or out at a restaurant? If you're served soup and salad, finish those before you touch the bread basket. At home, plate your vegetables in a separate small dish and eat them first. When you serve a stir-fry, scoop plenty of the vegetables and protein onto your plate and take a smaller spoonful of the rice, saving it for the final bites. Eating with others? You don't need to announce your plan. Simply follow your quiet order and enjoy the company. If you love fruit with meals, consider moving fruit to a snack between meals when your digestion isn't already busy. This tiny shift adds up quickly for people who wrestle with energy crashes or intense cravings. The best part is it requires no special ingredients and no calorie counting, just a small change in the choreography of your fork. Try it for 3 days and notice how you feel after lunch. Now, the ritual that sets the tone for everything else. Warm water upon waking. Before coffee, before breakfast, try drinking a generous glass or two of comfortably warm water. Overnight, your body has been repairing and tidying. Hydration. First thing helps move waste along, nudges your bowels to wake up, and raises your internal sense of alertness without the jitter of caffeine. Warmth matters because it's kind to your system. No internal cold shock, just a gentle hello to your digestive tract. If you take morning medications, coordinate with your prescriber about timing and water amount. Otherwise, many people do well with roughly 2 cups, sipped steadily over a few minutes. After you finish, give your body a window, about half an hour, before you eat. That space lets the water do its job without competing with a meal. It's simple, inexpensive, and surprisingly powerful as a daily anchor. If a large volume feels like too much at first, begin with 1 cup and build up over a week. Keep a thermos by the bed so it's easy and automatic. If you dislike plain water, add a slice of lemon or a few ginger coins. Use a mug you love. It sounds trivial, but small pleasures make habits stick. People often report smoother bathroom routines within days, fewer heavy mornings, and less mid-morning snacking because their body starts the day settled. Of course, tailor this to your health needs. If you have fluid restrictions for heart or kidney conditions, or take medications that affect electrolytes, follow your clinician's guidance on amounts and timing. Habits are most healing when they fit the life you have. The point isn't to win at hydration. It's to begin your day with respect for your body's quiet work and to give that work a hand. Step back and you'll see how these practices fit together. Warm foods help digestion flow. A reasonable eating window offers your system nightly space to restore. Colorful plates supply a wide array of plant compounds that your cells know how to use. Stopping at pleasantly not full eases strain and keeps energy steady. Fermented foods enrich the community in your gut. The vegetable protein carbohydrate sequence steadies blood sugar. Morning warm water wakes everything gently. None of these asks you to be perfect. They ask you to be consistent. Imagine your day as a string of small, kind choices. A warm mug in your hands before sunrise, vegetables that start your meal, a pause before your last bite, and a calm evening because dinner wasn't the day's largest event. That string becomes a necklace you wear through the years. Quiet, beautiful, durable. So where do you begin when life is already full? Choose one door. If mornings feel scattered, start with warm water. If afternoons crash, try the bite order and a more colorful lunch. If nights feel heavy, inch your dinner earlier and stop at pleasantly not full. Stack new habits onto old ones. Vegetables first as soon as you set your fork down. Tea instead of ice water when you sit. A small bowl for grains, so the portion is decided before you begin. For caregivers, simplify the environment. Smaller plates, soup before the main, a thermos ready at bedside, a pickle or yogurt with lunch for fermentation, and color cues on the grocery list. For those navigating health conditions, fold these ideas into your medical plan, not in place of it. Let your team know what you're trying so they can support and personalize your path. You don't have to change your identity to honor these shifts. Keep your cherished dishes, just nudge the context. Love a sandwich? Eat a small salad or sautéed greens first, choose warm tea, and make the last bites the bread. Crave something sweet after dinner? Bring fruit into the afternoon and enjoy a few squares of dark chocolate earlier in the day. Then let the evening be for unwinding rather than digesting. On weekends, cook a pot of broth, roast a tray of mixed vegetables, and make a quick pickle with cucumbers or radishes. Those pieces make weekday meals both warmer and easier. Travel or holiday gatherings. Aim for rhythm, not rigidity. Warm beverage first, vegetables first. Stop at pleasantly not full, then enjoy the company. Think of these as skills you carry into any room, any kitchen, any season. What changes when your habits change? Meals become more comfortable. Sleep deepens because your stomach isn't on a night shift. Mornings arrive with a clearer head because your system isn't playing catch-up. Digestion feels less like a guessing game and more like a partnership. Caregivers notice loved ones are less irritable when blood sugar is steadier, more willing to walk after dinner when they aren't stuffed, and more regular in the bathroom when warm water and fiber become routine. And perhaps most importantly, your confidence grows. You learn that you can influence how you feel without chasing extremes. That confidence is fuel you can spend on the parts of life that delight you. Grandkids, gardens, travel, music, community. Health is not just years added to life, it's life added to years. These habits serve both. I want to close the loops we opened at the start. The physicians who keep working into their 90s aren't superheroes. They're consistent. They eat warmly and unhurried. They stop before they're stuffed. Their plates are colorful and modest. Fermented foods are familiar, not special occasion. They keep a steady daily eating window and a gentle morning ritual. Can any one habit explain their longevity? No. But together, they reduce friction across the day. Less digestive strain, less volatility, less inflammation, more steady repair. Biology loves rhythm, and your body, even now, knows how to heal when you give it room. Pick one practice and make it friendly. When it feels natural, add a second. You don't need a revolution. You need a handful of small, dependable steps that you actually enjoy taking. Now it's your turn. Which idea surprised you most? The warmth of meals, the vegetable-first sequence, the morning water, the colorful plate, the gentle stop at pleasantly not full, the daily fermented side, or the quiet power of a consistent eating window? And which one will you try first tomorrow morning? If you're supporting a partner or a parent, which tweak feels most doable in your shared routine? Tell me in the comments what you'll start with. Your experience helps others in this community find their next step. I'm cheering you on, and I can't wait to hear what shifts for you when you give your body a little more warmth, a little more space, and a lot more kindness.